Here we go, everyone, getting ready for our class tonight. Now, our focus this afternoon, is day 79, starting off from week 12. And the topic was small talk versus deep conversation. Now, I want to say something real quick, but Jean Kempel, hello, good to see you. All right, so again, we're talking about conversations tonight. Mastering English conversations. And again, remember, you all can go over these lessons, review them. They all come from the 365-day lesson plan. But small talk versus deep conversation. This is something that when I was in Korea, I tried to teach my students, because once you master the art of English conversation, you'll watch your confidence take off. So let's see the difference between small talk and deep conversation. So small talk is basically meant to be light and fun. It is a way for two or more people to talk to each other without really getting to know the other. So now I'm going to give you guys some example topics, but again, I want you to interact. So tell me, what are some topics that you think are common for small talk? What are some common small talk conversation topics? Remember, small talk is very light and fun, nothing too serious. So what do you think are some common small talk questions or small talk topics? I'm very curious to see if you guys have any ideas. Here we go. Louis, hello. I'm doing great. Thank you. It's good to see you. Here we go. Blanca, hello. Good to see you. All right. So the question I asked everyone on the screen, you see that we're first looking at the difference between small talk and deep conversation. And I want you all to let me know in the chat box or in the comment section, what are some questions or some topics that you think are perfect for small talk? Not for a deep conversation, but for small talk. All right, here we go. Nana, good to see you. Hello. All right, Benvindo says the weather. Great one. Yes, usually for small talk, even Benvindo, when I'm on the street walking somewhere, and let's say it's a beautiful day, I can say to someone that I don't even know, whoo, isn't the weather amazing today? And they'll respond. Small talk. Very good answer, Benvindo. Martheline, hello. Good to see you. Kiss says Netflix TV shows. Good answer. Yes. Small talk. Hey, have you seen the new Netflix show? I actually watched a Netflix program. It was pretty good. It's called The Baker and the Beauty. It was good for those that want a new show to watch, The Baker and the Beauty. So yes, small talk. Good one, Kiss. Zakaria says, when you talk about the weather. Yes. Marcella says, weather, fashion, sports. Good. Mardo says, small talk about the weather. Good. I think some of you guys studied before class. Excellent. Patricia says, weather or sports. Javier, yes, weather. Miriel says, Tiff, how was your day? Oh, for an example. Excellent. Now, small talk. Yes. Hey, how was your day? Yes. And the person can say, oh, it was pretty good, thanks. So just small talk. All right. Gigi says sports can be small talk. Yes. Here we go. Marcella, sports. Yes. And let me see. Oh, social events. Excuse me. Zan, hello. Good to see you. Marceline says small talk, greeting someone and appreciating his or her outfit. Yes. Or the way they dress. Javier, it's a sunny day. Yes. All right. Gigi, the cinema or movies. True. Louis, introducing yourself. Hey, where are you from? Oh, really? I'm from. And you go back and forth. Good. Marcella, the movies. Good. Jasmine, hobbies and sports. Hey, I like art. What about you? Small talk. Good. Peterson, hello. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And Andres, small talk about your day. All right. So you guys have a good idea of what small talk usually includes. Now, what about deep conversations? All right. So again, we're getting the foundation for our lesson today. Someone came in. Let's see. Oh, Zakaria, when you first meet with your coworker, okay, yes, you can say, hey, how are you? And ask them about their day. Deborah, hello, Deborah. Good to see you. And yes, Deborah, the weather is a good topic for small talk. Very good. Now, deep conversations. Let's look at the definition of a deep conversation. Deep conversation is meant to be deep and thought-provoking. It is a way for two or more people to talk to each other and truly understand how the other thinks. Now, this is when it gets very interesting. With small talk, we say it's a very surface level conversation. But with deep conversation, you are really interested in the other person's opinions, ideas, or their philosophy. So tell me, what are some topics that can lead to really deep conversations? For example, politics, right? If I ask someone, hey, what do you think about the new president? Immediately, they're going to give me their ideas, their opinions about the new president. So, what are some topics that you think are good for deep conversation? Topics that will lead you to understand the other person's thoughts and ideas. Pop them in the comment section, guys. Here we go. Ruth says, for small talk, appreciating somebody. Okay. My C says the news. Again, these are still responses to small talk. Jasmine also, in speaking about small talk, family, friends, common interests, food, culture, or travel. All right. Someone says program. Oh, okay. Yes. Iconic. Hey, Gracia. Media, gossip, confession. Now, confession would be for deep conversation, right? Kiss, yes. Religion, yes. Religion is a topic that leads to a deep conversation. Great example. Javier, yes, your inner feelings. For example, hey, how are you feeling today? You see, that was a little bit different than, you all come on at the beginning. Hey, teacher, how are you? Right? And I'm like, hey, I'm feeling good. Now, sometimes when you're in person, someone may say, hey, no, really. Tell me how you're really feeling. How are you really doing? That will lead to a deep conversation. So great example. Marceline, talking about the organization in your company, next events in the company. All right, next events could be small talk, but then how the organization is working and how you feel about it could lead to a deep conversation. Paola says family, dreams, and plans about your future. Very good examples. Miriel, education, the importance of vaccines. I like how you're connecting it to what's actually going on right now in our society, in our world, Miriel. Very good. Human rights, democracy. Very good. Marcella, religion. Yes, true. Dennis, religion. Yes. Gracia, politics. Yes. Louis, your feelings and then questions about your feelings. Very true. Gracia says debates. Very true. Good answer. Andres, yes, deep conversations about politics. Excellent. Angel, heated debates. True, but debates about what? What are you debating? Give me some more specifics. Zakaria, when you talk with someone about climate changes and their consequences and how they will affect our planet. Good example. Yes, all of these things lead to deep conversations. Then Mardo says politics, religion, or the latest news. Marcella, personal experiences. Yes. Jasmine asks, deep conversation, personal questions. For example, how do you think you will die? Exactly. Immediately, Jasmine, you go into thinking about, hey, how will I die? And it leads the person to start giving their opinion. So good example. Deborah, polemic topics. I think you maybe politics, maybe. All right. Or polemic. Okay. Javier, relationships. Peterson, soccer. Okay. You can say who's the best team, but that kind of usually is small talk, depending on how deep the question is. All right. Oh, Peterson, excuse me. Jasmine, life and death, future, emotions. Great examples, everyone. Zan says, how about books and films based on these films? Yes, good. Patricia says, economy in the world or the world economy. Basketball. Okay, deep conversations about the players, what's going on in their lives. Okay. And Sergio, talking about God. Yes, tapping into what we said earlier about religion. So you all understand the differences between small talk and deep conversation when we think of different topics. Ooh, some more came through. Gigi says discrimination, racism can both lead to a deep conversation. Very true. Marcella, styles of raising children. Excellent examples, you all. Angel, voting for a new president. Yes. Marcella, controversial topics. Yes. And Dennis, talking with your loved ones about their life goals. Excellent. One more. Merta says the news, latest mobile phones, and technology. All right. So you can have deep conversations depending on the questions you ask. Oh, and last one, culture. Very good example. So again, we're seeing that small talk and deep conversation, they are different. So I want to give you some examples. In small talk, in this type of conversation, no personal questions are usually asked. And I want you all to pay attention as I give you the tips, because again, speaking English fluently is not just about memorizing words and expressions. It's about understanding things like this. If you can be a master of conversation, English conversation, you will seem fluent already. And this is something that even as Americans, we have to learn how to go back and forth naturally in a conversation. So with small talk, you don't ask personal questions. Usually, the only emotions involved are happy or neutral. And let me tell you all this. Think about this. For example, I've had good days and I've had bad days. But if someone asks me, hey, Tiff, how are you? I say, hey, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. Why? Because it's small talk. I don't go into any deep conversation. I keep it neutral. Now, I may have had a bad day, but it's small talk. It's not the time for me to get into a deep conversation. So I keep the emotion neutral. I'm okay. Everything's all right. I'll keep it going. Now, my friends that know me really well, they can tell when something really is wrong. And they'll say, what's really going on? How do you really feel? And then it leads to a deeper conversation, which can be about feelings of maybe if I'm sad or something happened or if I'm mad, I can go into those. But you don't go into those emotions for small talk. Here's another thing I want you to remember for small talk. It does not lead to the individuals truly getting to know each other. It's really surface level, like, hey, how are you? Great. Nice to see you. Have a wonderful day. And then it's over. You don't really get close to a person through small talk. Now, deep conversations, let me give you these tips, everyone. These enable the individuals to truly get to know each other on a deeper level. Next, it usually requires deep thought and a certain opinion to be expressed. So think about this, family. When we meet once a month for our Zoom call, right? We come together, it's exciting, and then I always put you all into breakout rooms. Why? Because I want you all to have deep conversations. You start off with small talk, but then you go to answer the questions that I've assigned. And what happens? You start to understand how the other individuals think. You start to see, hey, we may live in different countries, but we have a lot in common. So the deep conversations allow you to express your opinions. So our monthly meetings involve deep conversations. The other thing is right here. Deep conversations allow a person to express their true feelings about a certain topic. So you'll see again this common thing, opinions, ideas, talk about your experiences, all during deep conversation. A comment came through. Mardo says, in my country of France, it is not appropriate to have deep conversations about politics or religion in the professional or workplace. For me, deep conversations are only with close friends. Very interesting. I experienced that as well when I was in Korea. My friends told me, don't talk about politics because people get too upset. It's kind of a taboo topic. Now, in America, you can have a serious conversation about politics. Religion sometimes can be a little bit tricky now in America, even though we're a Christian country. But yes, depending on where you live, certain conversations are okay and certain conversations are not okay. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mardo. Diuni, hey, we are so happy to see you. We hope that you are doing better. And again, we're still praying for you and your family. Good to see you here with us this evening. All right, so let's continue, family. So we understand better the differences between small talk and deep conversations. Now, here are some examples, all right? In this type of conversation, again, I said no personal questions, no emotions beside happy or neutral, and it does not lead to you truly getting to know each other. So here we go. Some example topics, and you all gave some great ones. You guys actually gave everything that I had in my notes right here because you said movies for entertainment. So look, here we go. Some examples. About the weather, you can say, how's the weather? For current news, hey, did you hear about the earthquake? For sports, you can say, did you watch the game last night? And then for entertainment, you can say, hey, did you see the Oscars? All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to give you an opportunity to practice. I'm going to give you a topic, and I want you to give me a question that would be perfect for small talk. For example, for sports, an individual said, did you watch the game last night? Right? Very simple question. It's not about the person's feelings or their opinion. Just very basic. Hey, did you watch the game last night? What's another simple question used for small talk, not about emotions, that you can ask someone about sports? Give me a small talk question about sports. I want to see how good you guys are. Again, here's the example right here. Did you watch the game last night? If someone's walking up to you and they want to have a conversation, small talk about sports, what could you ask them? Now, as you guys are typing, I'm going to keep moving forward to give you some examples for the deep conversation. All right, now for deep conversation, here are the examples. Remember, there are three things we have to remember. Here are the examples for a deep conversation about the weather. What's your view on climate change? You see how the topic is the same, but I changed the question because now I'm curious to know that individual's opinion or idea about the weather. Now, an example question came through from Paola for small talk. Paola says, do you like to watch the Olympics? All right. So here's the thing. As long as you don't say why, remember, small talk is really not about the person's feelings or opinions. You got to keep it basic. Hey, did you watch the game? Yes or no? Do you like the Olympics? That leads to a deep conversation. So it's a little bit different. We want to keep it at not their opinion, not their feelings. All right. So try again. All right. Gigi says, hey, what's your favorite player? Or who's your favorite player? All right. So as long as these don't go too deep, it's okay. Jahel, what do you think about the game last night? All right. So again, these kind of lead to a deep conversation. So we got to be careful. Do you ever play soccer? All right, good. Open-ended question. Do you ever play soccer? Yeah, I play on the weekends. Oh, okay. Not about emotions. It's very simple. All right. Who's your favorite basketball team? All right. This again can kind of lead to a deeper conversation, but if you keep it there, it's okay. Business is actually kind of a deep conversation. All right, Marcella, did you hear that the tournament was called off? All right, basic question. Good. Do you like working out? All right. It can be basic or a small talk, but what happens is it leads to a deep question. Oh, you do? Why do you like working out? And then you see automatically it leads to a deeper conversation. So you want to try to keep them basic. Here we go. Do you like to play sports? All right. Do you like baseball? What is your favorite game? All right. Do you know where the match is taking place? All right. Basic question. Can we join to watch the Super Bowl? All right. Good. Geraldine, do you know who was the best player last night? Again, their opinion. So it kind of, remember, it leads to a deeper conversation. So if I'm asking you, hey, who's your favorite player? Woo, me too. I really like him. Man, he's good. What's your favorite player? Okay, what's your favorite play he did? Yes. It leads to a deep conversation, me getting to know the person. So it's not really small talk. Here we go. Did you have an opportunity to watch the Olympic game? Very good, Paola. Very good. Andres, did you see Michael Jordan yesterday? Good. All right. Nana, hi. How did the game go? All right. Okay. Amina, do you like this food? Do you like this? Okay, again, as long as it stays basic. So you guys see it's kind of tricky, right? Small talk and deep conversations are very different. Again, I want to show you all now really quickly how we can have the same topics, but the question changes and turns to a deep conversation question. Look at the weather. What's your view on climate change? I'm asking to know their opinion. Current news. Who do you think will win this election? What's happening? Exactly, family. I want to know the person's opinion. I want to know their viewpoint. I'm getting to understand and know how they think. That is the definition of a deep conversation, all right? Here's another one for sports. Which is more important, winning or participating? And then finally, for entertainment, should young children watch television? You see what's happening, right? Again, getting down deep means getting into the mind of the person you're speaking to. You want to ask them, hey, what do you think? What is your view on this? If I just say, how's the weather? It's just a fact. It's sunny outside. It's raining outside. Or did you watch the Olympic game? Yes or no? Small talk, keeping it very basic, not asking any opinion, but deep conversation. All right, so I think everyone kind of gets it, right? The difference between deep conversation and small talk. Now, I want us to keep going, all right? There are some things you have to remember as it relates to mastering English conversations. Let me show you all these things that I want you to remember. Don't dominate. Now, let me explain this word dominate. All right, everyone after me. Dominate. Good. Again, dominate. Good. Last time. Dominate. Excellent. Now, dominate means to take over, right? To take over and to not let anybody else participate. For example, my live English classes, right? When we have these classes every week, I'm not the only one speaking. Yes, you can only hear my voice, but you all are in the chat box, right? In the comment section, and I pop your comments on the screen because it's an interaction back and forth. Now, if I said no more comments, only I'm going to talk, I would be dominating the conversation or dominating the class. So one rule related to conversations is don't dominate. Now let me explain. Oh, somebody joined us. Hey, Ifra, no worries. We are happy to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let me give you this advice, everyone. The first thing to remember is to never dominate the conversation. It is important to make sure there is a balance between you and the person you are speaking to. It needs to be this back and forth, not here, I'm talking. Back and forth needs to happen. Now, here are some reasons and better explanations for you. 1, dominating shows that you don't care about the other person's opinion. So think about it, family. When we have our monthly meeting, right, and I put you all in breakout rooms, and there are 4 people in one room, if for 10 minutes one person talks, the other 3 people will feel like, this person really doesn't care about us. This person only thinks about his or her ideas. So you have to be very careful not to dominate the conversation. And this is very important for English learners to understand because sometimes when you get nervous, you start talking a lot. I do the same thing. When I was studying Korean, sometimes I would get nervous and I just start talking. But conversation, mastering English conversation is not always about talking. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's about listening well and knowing when to speak. So again, telling you all not to dominate, all right? People don't want to have conversations with people who dominate the conversation. And finally, it also shows that your listening skills are not good. So you see now why I emphasize the importance of mastering English conversations. It's not just about the words you use. It's about the art of conversation, mastering English conversation, knowing when to listen, knowing when to speak, knowing when to comment on someone else's opinion, and then ask a question. So again, number one, don't dominate. Another thing I want you all to remember is right here. Listen attentively. Real quick for pronunciation practice, everyone. Attentively. Good. I want you to look at the word while we say it again after me. Attentively. Good. Last time. Attentively. Excellent. Now, listening attentively means you have to pay attention. The second thing to remember is that listening skills are an important part of effective communication. In other words, listening attentively will actually help you to master English conversation. So, listening attentively will help you to understand people better. Pay attention to what they're saying. Don't think about many different things in your mind at the same time. Let me see. Another comment came through. Hold on one second. What do you think about Donald Trump? Yes, a good question for advanced or deep conversation. You don't want to steal the conversation. Exactly. Don't dominate or steal the conversation. Yes, Jasmine, ask their opinion. Get them involved. Very good. Zakaria says, usually Korean teachers have to dominate their classroom because it's a part of their culture. Very good. Exactly. In Korean culture, the teachers speak for the entire time. And I've told some stories on my YouTube channel about my first Korean class in graduate school. The teacher talked for 4 hours. 4 hours. And we didn't say anything. She was extremely smart, and she ended up being my favorite teacher because her personality was great. But it really surprised me that she could talk for that long and there was no interaction. So yes, very good example, Zakaria. Very good point. All right, so here we go. Again, as you listen, you actually improve your English ability because you are taking in new information. All right. And finally, if you listen well, the other person will also want to listen to you. Again, family, conversations, mastering English conversation, it's all of this. So when you are listening, really, wow, to a person speaking, they'll want to listen to you when it's your turn. But if while they're talking, you're looking at your phone, you're not paying attention, they're not going to want to listen to you. So it's very important to listen attentively. All right. The next thing is don't interrupt. The third thing is to remember is to never interrupt. This is because interrupting someone or suddenly stopping them is rude and can stop a conversation. People don't want to talk to someone who constantly interrupts them. Next, interrupting someone shows that you are not listening to them. And finally, it also hinders the flow of conversation because it shows that you think your words are more important. Now, family, once again, what you're learning, these are tips that even native English speakers have to learn and understand. It's tempting when you're having a conversation. You want to say something, but it's better to be patient, to listen, and wait for your turn to come. That makes the conversation flow better. So be careful not to interrupt. All right, so you guys are getting the real good gems for how to master English conversation. Now, this is interesting. How to end a conversation. This is something that can be a little tricky sometimes. Not knowing how to stop a conversation when you're in the midst of a conversation with someone, right? All right, so I'm going to give you guys some examples. We're going to talk about it a little bit, okay? Here we go. So, type or experience. For example, say the name of the person you are speaking with, all right? Now, let me pause really quickly. There are 3 types of conversations and ways to end a conversation, right? So if you're having a conversation and the focus of your conversation was an experience, right? Let's say maybe you were actually at a seminar that I gave and you walked up to me and we started talking about one of my story times, right? We started talking about my experience and then you told me about your experience and we went back and forth. How do you end that type of conversation? Well, one way is you say the name of the person you are speaking with. For example, well, Brian, it was so great speaking with you. So you can say, again, well, Teacher Tiffani, it was such a great experience, or it was so great speaking with you. You can memorize this actual pattern. It was so great speaking with you. Again, you're just saying, man, it was really nice speaking with you. You're letting them know you appreciated it. Now, the second one is right here. Briefly mention the experience they told you about again. I really enjoyed hearing about your trip to Paris. And then relate it to yourself and something about the future very quickly. All right. So these are 3 steps. If you're talking about an experience, there are 3 steps to ending it. Now I'm going to put it all together. Watch this, family. Step 1, say the name of the person. Well, Brian, it was so great speaking with you. Step 2, tell about the experience. I really enjoyed hearing about your trip to Paris. And step 3, relate it to yourself and something about the future. Hopefully, I will be able to visit there in the future as well. So again, step 1, say the name of the person you're speaking with. Step 2, briefly mention the experience they talked about. Well, Teacher Tiffani, it was so nice speaking with you. I really enjoyed your story time today. Step 3, relate it to yourself and something about the future. Man, I really hope I'll be able to go bowling like you did one day in the future. So, all right, again, if the conversation is about an experience, you end the conversation smoothly, like a native English speaker, by following these 3 steps. Step number 1, say the person's name. Step number 2, mention the experience they told you about. And step number 3, relate it to yourself and your future. Now, this one may be a little tricky, but I really want you all to practice. In the comment section, I want you to give me an example ending. Imagine I just told you a story. I'll give you an example. Oh, hold on. A question came through. Hold on one second. Hey, Tiff, we talked about how to start and end a conversation, but how can we keep it going? Now, I actually taught that during the week, but I didn't put it in today's class because I wanted to focus on how to start a conversation, the differences between a conversation, small talk and deep conversation, and how to end. If you want to find out how to keep a conversation going, again, just go to week 12 in the 365-day plan, and I have all the lessons there. I'm just doing a review here, but great question. Good catch. All right, so we've gotten to the end. Again, you guys can practice and review the lessons by going. I have the links over there. Give me an example. If I just finished telling you a story, again, story time, right? I just told you a story about how my sister and I used to like to rap and sing together, right? Imagine I just told you that story and we're talking back and forth and I'm like, yeah, my sister and I, man, when we were growing up, it was great. We used to sing, we used to rap and had a good time. I finished telling my story. I finished talking about my experience. How would you end the conversation? Using the 3 steps. I want you guys to try. Again, 3 steps. Say the person's name that you're speaking with, right? Which would be me. Step number 2, again, mention the experience. And step number 3, relate it to yourself and your future. I'll show you again. I'll take a few, but I think you guys can do it. Use these 3 steps. Step 1, name the person you're speaking with. Step 2, mention the experience. Remember the experience is, I said when I was growing up, my sister and I, true story, would sing and rap together. And step 3, relate the experience to yourself and your future. How would you end that conversation? Again, it can seem tricky, but when you have a formula that you can follow, you will definitely start speaking fluently if you just follow the formula. So again, step 1, state the person's name, which is me. Step 2, state the experience that was mentioned. And step number 3, tell how it relates to you and your future. Now, I'm going to let you all type. I know it's going to be a little bit longer, and I'm going to keep going. All right, here we go. Typing in the comment section, keep it coming. All right, here we go. Now, imagine if the topic is about your feelings. If the topic of the conversation is feelings, you can do something different. All right, here we go. Jahel says, well, Tiffani, that sounds really fun. I would like to rap someday with you guys. Okay, good. Very good. Now, the only thing is this. In the middle, you forgot to tell the experience. You did the first step. Well, Tiffani, that sounds really fun. Good. What was the experience? Remember, you got to summarize. It sounds like you and your sister had a great time together. Then I would like to rap someday with you guys. That would have been a great wrap up. All right. Here we go. Gracia says, hey, SYA, I had really enjoyed your company and I enjoyed listening to your rap. Hope we can talk more soon. Okay. All right. All right. Zakaria, Teacher Tiffani, I enjoyed a lot your interview with Josiane and it gave me a desire to visit New York. Okay. All right. So you used another experience. All right. Here we go. Yes, Urka, story time. Hey. Marcella, well, Tiff, it has been amazing speaking with you. I can imagine how much fun you had with your sister. Maybe when my sister comes back, we will try rapping together. Excellent. That was excellent. Exactly what I just taught. You followed the instructions. You answered based on the 3 steps. And you talked about the experience I explained. Excellent job. Here we go. Oh, I'm confused. What does rap mean? I'll rap for you guys really quickly. All right. All right. This is from a TV show called Fresh Prince from the 90s. Some of you may know it. Here we go. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school, winning a couple of guys. So I'm rapping right now. So that is, Dennis, what rapping actually is. So my sister and I would rap and sing, and I would kind of beat, like I would kind of beat, she would do some rapping or singing, and then we'd go into my parents' room. So we liked music a lot when we were growing up. So yes, that is what rapping is. All right. So again, Marcella gave an excellent example of following the instructions of what I taught about how to end a conversation that is based on an experience. Now, what if the conversation is based on someone's feelings or someone's emotions? So here are the steps I want to show you right here. First thing, say the name of the person you are speaking with. Wow, Mary, I truly enjoyed speaking with you. Step 1 is the same. You don't have to memorize a new step. Oh, hold on one second. Jasmine says, this topic is very helpful, even in our language, how to speak properly. I'm so happy to hear that, Jasmine. That is really good news. All right, Gracia. Hey, Tiff, I really enjoyed listening to your rap. You were really good at it. Wow, I'm impressed. Well, I would love to come hear you guys rap more someday. Excellent. Very good. What happened? You said my name, of course. The experience, listening to my rap, right? And then in the future, you'd love to come and hear us rap some more. Good. Very good. Lewis says, well, Tiff, it's nice to talk to you about. I get you amazing when you sing and rap. I'll be happy to sing with you soon. Okay, I get that you are amazing or you were amazing, an amazing rapper or singer. All right. Dennis, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Kiss. Well, Tiff, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Maybe someday we can rap together. Okay, almost perfect, Kiss. Remember, 3 steps. You said my name. That was good. But you got to say the experience. You got to mention that I talked about I rapped with my sister. And then come back with maybe someday we can rap together. So good, but you missed step 2, all right? Ruth, Tiffani, I've enjoyed speaking with you. Step 1. I would like to sing with you and your sister. That's step 3. Never forget step 2, guys, because step 2 is summarizing and showing that you listened closely to my experience. All right, here we go. Mardo says, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I love this show so much. Yes, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, exactly. All right, so now you all understand how to end a conversation that's about experiences. Now we're going to feelings, and we said the first step is the same. Again, say the name of the person. Now, the second step is briefly mention the feelings they told you about again. For example, it was very interesting listening to how you felt about ... Again, I want to remind you all that step 2 shows the person that you actually were listening, because you're just restating. You're just summarizing what they said. So in the last one, I gave an experience. You said, Tiff, it's interesting that you and your sister sang together. You were listening. Good. Now with the feelings, same thing. Briefly mention the feelings they talked about. And then finally, right here, we have this right here. Mention the importance of that feeling and lead into another future conversation. I also believe it is very important. Hopefully, we can talk more about it soon. So you see 3 steps here. Mention their name, mention the feelings they addressed, and finally, talk about the importance. Acknowledge the importance and the future. Hey, I'd like to keep talking about this more. All right. The 3 steps for ending a conversation about feelings. Now, some more comments came through. Gigi says, well, Tiffani, I'm glad to learn that you were a rapper when you were young. That reminds me of my childhood. I wish I was there to hear you rapping. That's good. Now, if you're saying I want to come in the future too, that's good. All right. 3rd step. Peterson, thank you very much. All right, here we go. You already said that. Marceline, well, Angelica, it was nice seeing. Okay. Remember, we're focusing on the example, which was the one I gave. All right. Now, again, so with feelings, step 1, you're going to say the person's name. Step 2, you're going to mention the feelings they talked about. And step 3, you want to mention the importance of that feeling and lead into another conversation. So for example, I will act for you all. I'm going to tell you about my feelings. So again, just acting. You know, I really and truly love my husband. I'm not married, but I'm giving you guys an example. There's something that he just does for me. When I come home from work, he's so excited to see me, and it makes me feel so loved. And it makes me want to love him more. And I realize the beauty of marriage. There are good days and bad days, but my husband just makes me feel like the greatest woman in the world. So I really love him. Now, we just had a conversation. Imagine we were going back and forth about marriage and love, and I explained how I feel about my husband. How would you end the conversation? Again, 3 steps. We talked about feelings. Step number 1, say the name of the person. Well, Tiff, I really enjoyed speaking to you and speaking with you about love. Step 1, the person's name. Step 2, it was really interesting to see and hear how much you love your husband. We talked about the emotion. I love my husband. And step 3, the importance of that feeling. I also think that love is important. I hope we can talk about this subject a little bit more in the future. You see what happened, right? I wrapped up that conversation very naturally. Step 1, well, Tiffani, thank you so much for telling me more about your relationship. I really like the way you talked about how much you love your husband. I think love is important too. Hopefully we can talk more in the future. 3 steps. So again, I want you all to try. I'm looking at the time. Few examples for feeling. Step 1, say the person's name. Step 2, briefly mention the feelings that were discussed. And step 3, mention the importance of that feeling and lead into another future conversation. All right. I want you guys to try. You guys did a good job with the experience portion. Try for this one as well. Hold on 1 second. Tiff, I really enjoy your class today. It will help me to have a deep conversation. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, again, guys, remember, these are all from the 365-day lesson plan. This is why I encourage everyone, follow the plan. I'm just reviewing the lessons that are already in the academy. Trust me, family, if you follow my 365-day lesson plan, you will be fluent in English. You will master English, and it's not just about vocabulary. I teach you so many different things. So I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying this class. All right? Let's see. Javier, well, Tiff, you rock. I'll be waiting to see you again soon. Thanks, Javier. Dennis, well, Tiffany, it's for the rap. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Well, Tiffany, it's really nice to learn about your story with your sister. I really hope I can have a good story like that to say. I look forward to talking to you in the future. Good. All 3 steps. All right, now we're talking about feelings, everyone. Here we go. Wow, Tiffany, I really love to talk with you. It was very interesting listening to how you felt about your amazing marriage. Good. Here's the wrap up. I also believe it is very important to create a great relationship with love, respect, and communication. Hopefully we can talk more in the future. Jasmine, yes. Good job, Jasmine. All 3 steps. Very well stated. And again, being that I'm a native English speaker, when you wrap up a conversation like this, I feel like, whoa, this person can really speak English. It's not about any grammar mistakes you may have made. It's all about how you organized your thoughts and how you followed the steps. So great job, Jasmine. Here we go, Amina. Wow, Joanna. Okay, remember, we want to stay on the topic. So I want to show examples. I need you guys to pay attention. This is also another thing. I didn't ask for any examples about other people. I want you guys to focus on the fact that I just had a conversation with you about my husband and the love I have for my husband. I want you to wrap up this conversation using the 3 steps. Step 1, say the name of the person, which is me. Step 2, mention the feelings that we talked about, love and how much I care about him. Step 3, mention the importance of that feeling and lead into another future conversation. Here we go. Marcella, hey Tiff, I really enjoy our conversation. You are right, feeling loved is amazing. Undoubtedly, love is so important in any marriage. I am looking forward to sharing more with you. Good job, Marcella, good job, all right? Here we go. Jean, hi Tiff, you're amazing in all you are doing. You are a good example for our generation. Hope one day I meet you personally to share ideas friendly. All right. That was a good wrap up. It wasn't for this conversation, but that was a great wrap up. Thank you. All right. Let me see, 1 or 2 more people, 1 or 2 more individuals, because then we have to wrap up, everyone. Give me 1 or 2 more individuals again. Remember, I talked about my husband, our marriage, and how much I love and care about him. So wrap up the conversation about that. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Wow, Tiffany, it was nice to hear about your relationship. I'm so happy to hear about how your husband loves you. I think that this attention contributes to a lot in a relationship. I hope we can talk more about relationship and love in the future. Will Marie, yes. Very, very good job. You followed the steps. Again, the steps are simple, family. Learn the steps and you will be a master at English conversations. All right. Great job. I'm very proud of you. Again, everyone, we do it live weekly, right? And we have a different topic every week. But don't forget, you can always review. What I'm teaching you today is already available. You can go right back to week number 12 and review those lessons. And you can watch this class after it's over. I'll put the recording up, okay? All right, here we go. Another one. Kiss says, well, Tiff, I really enjoyed speaking with you about your marriage. It seems like you both love each other. I believe love is important too. Hopefully we can talk more about love in the future. My man, Kiss. Yes. Good job. Excellent job. You wrapped it up so well. Again, you ought to understand how excited I get because I am a native English speaker. And when you all answer following the simple steps, it really feels like you are already fluent. And I'm your teacher. But when you speak like this, I feel like, yes, excellent job. All right, last one. Here we go. Lewis, well, Tiff, I enjoyed you and your husband are so loving. Love and kindness contribute a lot to building a good home. I hope I'll be able to see you next time in love. Good job. Excellent. Again, it's not about the little grammar errors. It's all about the information. Lewis, excellent job. Very, very, very good. I'm very proud of you. Excellent job. Now, family, unfortunately, class is coming to an end. Oh, but I got to get Paola, our wonderful admin. Paola says, oh, Tiffany, how great to hear how happy your marriage is going and how loved he makes you feel. I hope to find someone who makes me talk like that someday, and then I can also tell you about it. Paola, excellent job. All right, we got another one. Good job, Paola. Michelle says, hey, Tiffani, I understand you have a true love with your husband. Love is a distinctive characteristic to us as human beings. I hope one of our next live lessons will be exclusively related to true love. Good job. Excellent job. You guys are amazing, and I love how you put into practice what you learned today. Now, our class for today is coming to an end, but you guys do have a homework assignment. I do want to, again, commend you all for all the practice and your interaction today. You did a great job, and I want you guys to start putting into practice what you learned today. Now,